Hello. Welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just put your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe, and we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. So thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. Don't forget, you can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go. All of the regular live streams are timestamped. So we're probably near a couple thousand of them now. So anyway, or you can watch back on a higher speed, whatever works for you. So it is the first day. Happy equinox. It is the first day of spring. It is the first day of Aries season. The warrior. And thank you. This is just an illustration. And yeah, it's very much Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, so it's very much like a kick in the pants. Let's go. Let's do. And if you have any Aries in your life, you know that they take action, they go forward, brave and strong. It's good stuff. So, all right. So, I did want to just share with you up front. I won't go through the whole thing, but where is there it is. I can turn that off and I can share this. So this is just pulled up in a basic Windows image thing, just so you can see it. But yeah, today is the first day of Aries. Obviously, it's ruled by Mars. And symbols the ram. It's the first house. These are the dates. And then there's some keywords over there. Definitely powerful. And first sign of the zodiac. So it rules the head. The last sign of the zodiac rules the feet. So you work your way down your body with the different signs. But this rules the head. When Dumpy had something very strongly in Aries, I think it was Mars, but he had something very strongly in Aries on the day that someone took a pot shot at his noggin. So it's like, yep, head. Same thing. There's something, I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. Off the top of my head. Thank you, brain. Same thing with Abraham Lincoln. So, yeah. Anyway. All right. So, just so you know, this is where we are, and this is the beginning of the beginning of the what would it be? Zodiacal year. So, anyway, just so you know. Thank you, Ms. Gibson. Yesterday was my birthday. Oh, thank you, Miss Gibson. Thank you. And I'm glad you're out of the hospital. You poor thing. So, Joyce says my niece named her daughter Aries. Oh, that's beautiful. I've never even heard of that. That's a beautiful idea. Cindy Pool says the only thing I'm not is competitive. Well, competitive doesn't even necessarily mean you're competitive with others. You can be competitive with yourself, perhaps. So. All right. So when it comes to the year, you know where you are astrologically. All right. Oh, thank you, Design Media FX. Thank you. All right. So let's jump in because you think that the topics and you'd think the topics and the article, it couldn't get weirder. It couldn't get worse. But somehow, they manage. But we have good news too. And we're going to end today with a hypothetical about JFK and Trump. All right, but let's jump in at number one. Sun's in Aries. It's the first sign. It's a fire sign. So we're gonna try to keep just keep breathing, and we're gonna not let our fury overtake us. On today's episode, Trump took a major step in repealing the Civil Rights Act by removing a clause in the federal government contracts that prohibits segregated facilities. Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education, has been given the go-ahead to internally dismantle the Department of Education. Trump can't just get rid of it, period, but he can have the secretary stop everything that it does. But Trump's approval rating has seriously dropped, so that's good. All right, so we'll jump into this. All right. At 6 minutes 30 seconds in, dear great Gussie. If we're gonna get rid of, if they're going to insist on getting on bringing back segregation, I think MAGA voters should have to be the second-class citizens. There we go. Simple enough. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, so now some people are gonna say he can't do that because of the Civil Rights Act, but let me bend your ear for a moment here and give you the details on how he's trying to pull this off. The Trump administration rolled back a key clause in federal contracts that explicitly prohibited contractors from having segregated facilities, such as restrooms, restaurants, and drinking fountains. Flames. A February memo from the General Services Administration stated that several provisions in the Federal Acquisition Regulation, it's a document that sets guidelines for government acquisitions, quote, are not consistent with direction of the president, unquote. Though the memo emphasized that all contractors are still covered by existing U.S. state laws and civil rights and non-discrimination, it instructed agencies not to include a number of FAR provisions and clauses in future solicitations and contracts. The list included clauses titled Prohibition of Segregated Facilities, Equal Opportunity, and Affirmative Action Compliance. Okay, the FAR clause and 52.22.21, okay, 222.21, defines segregated facilities to include locker rooms, waiting rooms, recreation areas, transportation, and housing, quote, that are segregated by explicit directive or are in fact segregated on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin because of written or oral policies or employee custom, unquote. So, oh no, it's not just of people of color. Oh no. This can be whoever they decide, Muslims, women. So what's going to happen? Denise Miner says, I have never hated anybody more than I hate the orange. Yes. You remember? Seriously, it is cathartic to go watch fake Goosebumps guy. This is the handle he uses. You know what I like about Donald Trump? Nothing. I despise him with such intensity, I'm forming a pearl somewhere in my body. I hate him so much, one of my legs detached. I hate him so much. There are a few rants he has like that, and they're very cathartic and funny. So, okay, it doesn't feel... All right, I'm not getting segregation like they had in the South. What I am getting is much more subtle. Still awful, but subtle. The fact is, the modern world, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that the population of the United States since World War II has about doubled. Weren't there about 150 million people in the US during World War II, and now there are 340 million? 150 million, 160 million? I can't quite remember. But there are a lot more people now than there used to be. And it gets a lot harder. The bigger the population, the harder it is to try and corral people. Cindy Poole says, when will we have to wear burqas? Never. Never. You can't get, seriously, you can't get there from here. And we won't let it. But there's the far right burden. You burden yourself when you... Oh, thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Lewis. 132 million according to Google. Thank you. I thought it had about doubled. Actually, but more. You weaken your own country. You weaken the economics. You weaken everything when you try to make second-class citizens. There is you're the Queen of... Yeah, there's the Queen of Swords. 10 of Pentacles. There's the World and the Queen of... There's the Queen... That was the Queen of Swords. This is the Queen of Pentacles. What I'm getting is you're not going to get segregated water fountains. But it's very much locking people out of opportunities. You know, if you remember, and I realize it's been a long time, but if you remember, if you really remember, or you've recently rewatched the movie 9 to 5, women really were just hit on at work. You couldn't really do anything. Kept in out of positions of real power. You can't get away with everything, and you won't be able to get away with everything you used to be able to, but it's not going to be the same, but it might rhyme in some ways. This is just the legacy, the far right legacy, and who has the money. And I've been saying for how long that the biggest problem we're going to have is going to be the widening of the gap between the rich and the poor, which is like, well, how would that be worse than all this other stuff? Because it has such far-reaching effects, where they just get richer and richer and richer, and the middle class just erodes down to nearly nothing. That's bad. That's bad for everybody. That's how you end up with the horror stories of the history of certain South American countries where things got really ugly. And that's what authoritarianism breeds. So, oh, TJ, thank you for being here. Thank you, Design Media FX. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. All right. So, next. At 1540, Trump is set to sign an executive order effectively shuttering the Department of Education. He can't close the department outright without Congress's input, but he can have Linda McMahon dismantle all of the programs it offers. Will this be one that SCOTUS says no to? Oh boy. Not all the questions are awful today. They aren't all awful. All right, so hang in there. We go through the news with friends, so we don't have to read and go through this garbage alone, because you're not alone. All right, Linda McMahon, what's your place in history going to be? Hungry kids? Always a good look. The only reason I am not still giving 10% of all of my income to Feeding America is because I know someone specifically who really needed the help. But it isn't even just that I have a Cancer moon, and I have a Cancer moon in the second house. It's that I'm a human being with empathy, that hungry people, especially hungry kids, makes me crazy. Anyway, okay, calming. All right, so Linda McMahon, it's just, there's no major arcana here, but it's all pretty icky. Sorry. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. That really helps. Kathy Whiplash said, McMahon. Yeah, Linda McMahon. Yes. Not listening. Just refusal to listen to decency. Yeah. High Priestess. They did what they could in secret, or they're it's kind of a little underhanded, but doing as much, causing as much chaos and problem as possible. King of Swords, 10 of Swords, pain it causes, and Trump's base of power. Is he going to go forward with a lot of damage? Yes. Will it stand in the courts? I don't even have the court. I don't have anything about the courts coming up here. But I do have it hurts MAGA. There's another woman who makes shorts. I'm afraid I don't remember her name, but she just plays out these scenes of MAGA voters going to, you name it, the grocery store, to try to get an appointment at the VA. I mean, you name it. And how irate the MAGA voters getting when they're told, no, that is really that expensive now. No, we are wildly understaffed. You cannot. Yes, you waited 3.5 months for this appointment, but no, you're just going to have to wait longer because we don't have the people. But I'm a MAGA voter. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Obviously, that means absolutely nothing. So, Supreme Court, hello? Knock, knock. Anybody home? Wow. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Card for the reading. Potential endings. Oh, look. Hurts the whole country. Oh, and there's the Justice card hiding way back here. Grr. Two of Pentacles. Very, very shaky economic ground. Queen of Swords. There she is, Linda McMahon. I love that. Thank you. Ace of Cups. We're going to have to help each other. There's a big DEATH card. And a refusal to listen to decency. Vote for Democrats. Okay. Debsy is asking, why isn't Congress upset? They're giving up their power. Well, Speaker Mikey the Heretic doesn't see it that way. He just thinks that Dumpy and Doge and all of that are doing the far right's bidding. They're doing all the stuff that he believes in as a conservative. And they're taking the heat. He doesn't have to put his name on it. He doesn't have to have that. He doesn't have to go talk to his constituents. Not that they're really talking to their constituents, but he doesn't have to go talk to his constituents. His majority in the House, they don't have to answer. They love it. Yeah. City Pool says so many people stayed home. Yep. That's what I'm telling you. I really try to keep my ire focused on the people who are actually doing these policies. But I have trouble keeping my ire in check when it comes to pollsters. And the next time any of them are saying, oh, the Democrats going to win in a landslide, ignore them. Please ignore them. I mean, seriously, third time, or if, you know, they have bamboozled us twice. We're not listening again. You cried wolf twice with all of this damage. Nope. Anyway, okay, pulling myself together because this is a better story. Okay. At 23 minutes in, a little bit of good news. I have a quote on this too. Given the current polarization in public opinion, it's kind of surprising. Let me click over here so I can see the quote. That it turns out that Dumpy's approval rating is in negative territory. And at this stage in his presidency, since they started keeping records on this sort of thing in 1937, there have only been 2 administrations since 1937 with negative net approval ratings at this point in a president's term, going back to the second term of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And those 2 administrations were Donald Trump in 2017 and Donald Trump in 2025. He is the only administration with negative net approval ratings at this point in the term, going back 85 years, something-ish, are both of Donald Trump's terms. Yeah. So will that improve for him, or will it continue to sink like a stone? Should we listen to the poll? Cindy's asking. I know. But Please, I'm just saying, please vote for Democrats. Please vote. Please vote. Do not stay home. Yes, Lewis. Expect an angry, deranged tweet in 3, 2, 1. Again, I'm not saying all the polls are right, but I found this amusing. Evelyn Hartman is saying his poll numbers are gonna sink like a rock. He has hung MAGA out to dry. He has hung the voters out to dry. We know that. But not enough people came out and voted. Quiet as a tomb. MAGA, there's some of them, they will always, no matter what. He could unalive members of their family right in front of them in person and they'd still support him. It's a cult. It is a cult. See, our leaders come and go because we have ideals we believe in. But that's a cult. They have a cult of personality. And everything bends around him, even when that person has 34 felony convictions. 4 of Cups. Well, that's not listening. MAGA is going to continue to suffer. And there are some who will always support him, but as it gets worse and worse, as life gets worse and worse for them, I hope that well, at least somebody else is being treated worse is enough to have you be able to handle your hunger pangs when your SNAP benefits are dwindling. Oh boy. Okay. Okay, Ms. Gibson, 2 words ran together. The only reason MAGA's upset now is because it's happening to them. But your spell check or whatever it was ran 2 words together. So it was the only reason. It looks like MAGupset, and it was almost like it looked like Budapest, but it was like, oh, do we have a new cool name? Chemical Squirrel is reminding us, leopards. You joined the leopards eating faces party, and then they weren't supposed to eat my face. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. Really helps. Thank you. All right. All right, Nettie has a question at 2850. Since Felonious 47 wants to remove the U.S. from NATO, are the MAGA GOP going to be able to protect us from another 9/11 style attack? They are all playing a dangerous game with our lives. Yes, they are. Yep. Yes, Amy, MAGA pest. Well, I don't get foreign. It does. Okay, for what it's worth, it doesn't feel like there are foreign terrorists who are going to be able to do anything to Dumpy, and that's good because I don't want anybody being hit, being unalived. I mean, no, not him, not anybody. We do not want to go down that road at all. No violence Seriously. But the rest of us, there are still there's still law enforcement trying to keep us safe. If okay, there's your terrorism. There are we still have enough goodwill from other countries. They're not going to share all of their intel with us anymore. But if there was an imminent, serious threat, like a wooga alert, they would tell us. And there are law enforcement who ultimately care. But this is the card for the reading is the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, it's a roulette wheel. The fewer people we have protecting us, the worse it is. The less goodwill we are creating through USAID and things like that, the more danger we're in. So it's more risky. I mean, I didn't get a tower, but we're at more risk. We are. Oh gosh, Suzanne. The snake poem is about himself, true. But I'll tell you, I never, ever want to hear that again. Never. Oh gosh. Anyway, okay. Breathing. Okay. Tammy had an interesting question. I haven't seen anything about this in the news. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for some reason Tammy was asking, do you see China attacking Alaska for resources? China? I mean, Russia's right there. To China. I hadn't heard anything about this. No, they steal our intellectual property. And spread it around. And Trump yells at them. That's all I'm getting. So, okay. Oh, Paula. Paula says the snake story is an old Native American story. We had a great time making fun of him for telling it the way he did. Well, I'm glad you were able to get something good out of it. Okay. Lois says Canada just purchased the most advanced radar for the North, so it'll be hard for anyone to invade. Good for you. Okay. All right. Nazi Ferrazzu's back in the news. Oh, joy. This is why we go through the news. This is why we go through the news together. All right. Nazi Ferrazzu, Stephen Miller. He has a flood the zone strategy. Is his flood the zone strategy of all these changes? Is it ultimately, because there's been a lot of pushback, will it ultimately lead to significant policy changes or increased public resistance and scrutiny? Is this gonna blow back in their faces? Words. There's nothing like going on camera every single day of the year, year after year after year. Yeah. Goofiness will happen. Well, that is a choice. It's interesting. It doesn't end with Major Arcana. Queen of Swords. So getting Nazi Ferratu getting Dumpy and all the secretaries of evil to do the awful. Jeez, I just, it feels weird to me calling a Jewish man a staggering racist, but he is. Wheel of Fortune. It's the chaos. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. It's going to be the other. Over here. And all of these just random. I mean, it's like whack-a-mole. But it just does a lot of damage. I mean, we know it's damaging, but ultimately, this is just a big mess that the Democrats are going to have to clean up for years. So I'm just getting, I don't know how to explain the chaos, like berserker energy of their policy. The cartoon Tasmanian Devil, that's their policy. Only, I think he was pretty sweet, wasn't he? He was a sweet little critter. But, Chris Cool, who was Stephen Miller in his last life? I think I've read on that. It's been a long time. But I think I've read on that. But anyway, I need to. I throw it in the questions tomorrow, please, before I come on. I'm always looking for questions. You know that. All right. So the next question is from Chemical Squirrel. The YouTube lawyer Legal Eagle. Didn't he say he was quitting or something? I saw a headline. I didn't watch the video, but I saw the headline. I was like, what? Where are you going? Hello, boo-boo. Oh, that's a big stretch. Yes, that was. Have you been napping under the blankie? Oh, just a warm kitty. Just a big, soft, warm kitty. Okay. So legal. Okay, at 38 minutes in, I got distracted by the kitten. And both of the boys are adorable. Okay. Legal, the YouTube lawyer, says that the deportees were sold into slavery. In what sense? I mean, the ones that were sent to El Salvador, they were with absolutely no evidence. They've been singled out as being terrorists, and they've gone to a hard labor prison for terrorists. When no, it's like it's like, well, the one guy we can prove he was part of a gang. Literally, this is from a filing I read this morning, or an article I read on a filing this morning. We can prove that the government said we can prove he's a terrorist because he had this tattoo of a globe with a crown on it, which is supposed to be the tattoo for a gang. It's like, no, that's the tattoo for his favorite soccer club. And they showed, like, this is the symbol for the soccer club. This is his tattoo. Oh, and there was a picture of him on social media throwing a gang sign. He was literally, okay, you ready for this? You want to see the gang sign? He was literally going, that, my friends, is sign language for I love you. That's a hang loose. That's not a gang sign. Hello? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so will this have any? What's going to go on with this? I'm just glad that those people, I'm just glad they have lawyers who are fighting for them. Thank heavens. Okay, there is hope. There is hope for these. I'm assuming they're all men. I don't know for certain. Miss Gibson says, I grew up, that was the rock out sign. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ouch. Hemmed in. But I've got temperance, 6 of cups. These are this is humanitarian, trying to help. These poor people. Not part of gangs. People not there. There's no due process. But there's the low information voters, and it doesn't affect Trump very much. I wish it did. But I do have hope for these guys, male or female. Lewis says, I thought that was just the Hail Satan sign. And I know Satan is a vegan thing. I always liked that t-shirt. Big Gothic letters and all of this. Hail, S-A-I-T, and which is a vegan meat replacement. Yeah, the devil's horns. Yeah, you can go to any rock concert and see that anywhere. So, yeah. Chris Gould says 8th Amendment violation, cruel and unusual punishment. But he's so far getting away with it because he's calling them the magic T word, whether it's right or not. And they're not U.S. citizens, which shouldn't matter, but Republicans. Okay. So, all right, there's a question here. It's just a general question about the conservative majority on the Supreme Court. How are the rulings going to go going forward? Are they still? Is the Supreme Court going? Are their ultimate rulings going to be farther and farther and further to the right, or are they going to become a mitigating, centering energy? I'm not saying a pull to the left energy. I know better. But have the majority of people in the Supreme Court, have they said, you know what? It is saying there's hope for what it's worth. Cards aren't great. There's some stuff they're just trying to duck and dodge, that they're like, burden of the far right, 7 of Cups. So still trying to keep things murky. But we know that those with who get RVs and $1 million vacations, etc. Oh, they're never going to change. If anything, it feels like they're going to be centrist or rule. It just feels like they're they're ducking stuff on the whole that they maybe we would have assumed they would take before. Oh, Lewis, I understand. Lewis is saying after seeing Roberts and Barrett's decision lately, maybe we should write to them and ask them to revisit their immunity decision. Somebody has to bring the case. Somebody has to bring the case and has to go through the courts. So, excuse me. Finally, the Justice card. Hello. It shows up eventually. Wow, Major Arcana. Phew. Card for the reading. Well, we know what it's been like. Excuse me. Judgment. Justice. 3 of Cups, so that's good. And strength against all of the right-wing stuff. I'm getting a mixed bag, and I'm getting them ducking some things, but like refusing to even take up some things. But to think that they're actually anything but a majority right-wing Supreme Court, yeah, don't hold your breath on that one. So at least for what it's worth, it doesn't feel like it's 100% gangbusters to the far right. I mean, at least there's that. But if it's meh. Okie dokie. So, Tammy also had a question about the Amish and the harvest. Okay. How is the harvest going to go for the Amish? I don't usually get the question like that. I like it. Let's hope it goes well. Well, wow, I'm not used to reading on the Amish. Energy is rather quiet. Oh, somewhere that Dumpy has not managed to turn into utter chaos. Wow, that's new and different. How's the harvest going to be? Hard life. Weird. Well, there's always, when you are that, Dennett says the Amish are hard right supporters. GD says, shouldn't you change the cards after reading all of the Dumpy energy? No, it's all much of a muchness. They live very close to the land. They live a heck of a lot closer to the land than most Americans and anybody, from any part of. If you're living, if you are trying to be that self-sufficient, you are at the mercy of a lot of potential catastrophes. So there's some anxiety. The government is. It also depends. I mean, there are some. It depends how devout they are to their cause. Does that make sense? Not all are. I mean, some are, we don't use electricity. And there are some that are, we do some things. King of Cups. I've got a Devil and I've got Disappointment. Yeah. What is this King of Cups? What does that refer to? Hang on, sorry, I'm going to try to get my mouse to work here. There's a question here. Okay. Temperance. But I'm guessing not voting. Three of Pentacles, DEATH card. I think can they grow enough crops for themselves? Yes. But commodities are an issue. There are farmers who, because it's talking about all these other government policies that affect farmers in general, especially small farmers. And I think that could be a problem too. I am not, hello, precious one. I am not here to, I'm not passing judgment on the Amish. That's not my, it's the same thing. I'm not passing judgment on like Catholics. My family is Catholic, but I'm not. Hello, precious one. He's the precious. Yes, he is. He's the good boy. He's a good boy. He's a boo boo. He's so good. He's so good. Okay. You doing okay? You doing okay, boo boo? You're a good boy. Did you have a nap and a snack? Just a little nap. Just a little. Just a little nap. Just a little snack. No. You're precious. You are precious. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. Just taking a minute here. How you doing? There's still good in the world. There's still good in the world. Yes, there is. I don't know if you can hear him purring, but it's adorable. He is a precious boy. Oh, Louis says my blood pressure just went down. Thanks, Boo Boo. Oh. We're actually going to finish out today with a hypothetical. Precious. But I don't want to move. at 55:30. Let's do a hypothetical. He's a good boy. This came from Sarah. Sarah and I were talking before the live stream, and she said something about. Look, I can't even explain how we got on the topic, but it ended up with. She said something about the TARDIS, Doctor Who, the TARDIS appearing, and George Washington getting out and having an altercation with our current president. And I said, maybe I should read on what would actually happen if George Washington, knowing everything, showed up. And she said, no. With JFK's in the news, what if he showed up? I was like, oh, okay. That could be, it's a hypothetical. We could even look at both. Okay. The sweetness. Oh, the sweetness. Precious. Good boy. Hey, let me do this one reading. I'll do this one reading, and then we'll have snuggles. We'll have snuggles. Just let me do one reading, okay? Just relax. Both. All right. If George Washington, if Doctor Who was real, and he went back in time and he grabbed George Washington and he explained to him, and George Washington knew everything that was going on. And obviously this would be the older George Washington, who had been president, had stepped away from the presidency. What did George Washington do? He would not be impressed. Like, I'm not saying George Washington was a saint, but he went to war. He watched good men lose their lives for the freedoms that we have, for democracy. Duh. And that he would see Dumpy as selling out and walking away from everything that they sacrificed for. And very much a they, not just him. But he knew the absolute horrors. And let me tell you, remember Benedict Arnold? Because the card for the reading, yeah. Big ol' hangman. Mm-hmm. Not impressed. So, oh man, the fury. The Revolutionary War was not fun. I mean, brutal. And to have this man sell out. Man, okay. So, JFK. If somehow Doctor Who went and grabbed John Fitzgerald Kennedy, explained everything to him and brought him here, the TARDIS appeared in the White House, and Trump was actually home for 5 minutes from golfing. More modern sensibilities. He would recognize a cult when he saw one. Look at that sweet face. He would recognize a cult when he saw one. He was also very familiar with segregation. The weakening of the rule of law would worry him. And the Project 2025 plans would horrify him. And he would be like, why on earth why isn't the opposition party, why aren't the Democrats taking Project 2025 and making it so that everyone in the country knows? Like, that should be that's what he would do. He would want to turn this into what everybody was talking about. That plan, so nobody would ever vote for these people again. Now, but he also would understand it's a cult, so I don't know that would necessarily work. But I'm just getting a basic horror. So but would that work? I mean, if we push more about 2025, no, because it's a cult. Those people, those believers, they are in a cult. That's brutal. But he did believe in democracy. Knight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. He sees the corruption. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm getting for those two. All right. Man, the brutality. That's the big thing I just got from doing that reading. The brutality in the American Revolution and all of that was sacrificed, and for this blanky blank to sell out to have more money. Ugh. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so that's going to do it for me for today. Thank you for being here. Happy Aries season. Put that back up. All right. So it's 1:19. I say no longer. It's 1:19 here in Chicago. At 3 o'clock, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Sarah will be productive. You're always welcome. We just want to encourage you in whatever projects you're working on. It can be absolutely anything. Other than that, I'll be right back here tomorrow. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for going through this with me. And please remember, you're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead. They are out there. All right. Yet likes and subscribing really does help. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So happy first day of spring. Exactly, Raymond. Happy first day of Aries. And we'll just keep on keeping on. Keep breathing. Keep being positive. And you're not alone. All right. And I'll see you later. All right. Thank you.